as I explained yesterday, free from the three stains, and then we listen to the Dhamma, we contemplate the Dhamma, and we practice the Dhamma for the benefit of all mother sentient beings to attain the perfect realization. So we want to attain the perfect realization too. So for this purpose, then we contemplate, we listen, contemplate, and practice the Dhamma.
Če se spomnimo včerajšnjega učenja o treh napakah pri poslušanju dharme, poskušamo in se trudimo, da poslušamo brez teh napak, poslušamo dharmo, razmišljamo o njej in delamo prakso, in sicer s kakšnim namenom, zato da bi vsa čuteča bitja, ki so bile nekoč naše matere, pripeljali do stanja popolnega razsvetljenja, in s tem namenom tudi sami hočemo doseči popolno razsvetljenje, in zaradi tega poslušamo dharmo, razmišljamo, študiramo in delamo prakso.
So yesterday we did the shamatha meditation on the breathing, using the breath, cycle of the breath as the mind to rest on.
Včeraj smo delali šamata prakso, in sicer za osnovo, na kateri počiva naša pozornost, smo vzeli cikl diha.
So now with this as the base, then we will do all the 9 methods of resting the mind.
In to bo osnova tudi za vseh ostalih 9 metod, s katerimi bomo umirjali um.
So the 9 methods of resting the mind, the shamatha, is mainly, first the first to meditate on different methods of shamatha and about shamatha. So the 9 methods of shamatha. So a brief idea about this. So first thing is the 9 methods of shamatha. To meditate on different methods of the shamatha.
Šamata, 9 metod ali pa 9 stopenj šamate delamo zato, da iz različnih zornih kotov ali pa z različnimi pristopi delamo prakso šamate, in to je en od namenov, da vidimo različne poglede na šamato.
And secondly, to maintaining the one experiences through the shamatha meditation.
Drug namen je to, da vzdržujemo naše izkušnje z meditacijo šamate.
And lastly, the fruition or result of the shamatha practice.
In na koncu delamo to prakso zato, da bi dosegli rezultat šamata prakse.
So in this 9 method of resting the mind, it shows us how to do shamatha meditation in the first. Then it shows us how to maintain the experience of the shamatha meditation. And finally, the result or the fruition.
In 9 stopenj šamate strukturiranih tako, da nam najprej pokaže, kako delamo to meditacijo, potem nam pokaže, kako ohranjamo stanje umirjenega uma, in tretja stopnja je, da dosežemo rezultat ali plod naše prakse.
So the 9 method of resting the mind, it includes all these 3 aspects.
In 9 metod umirjenja uma vključuje vse te 3 aspekte.
The origin of the 9 methods of resting the mind is from the Buddha Shakyamuni himself.
In te prakse prihajajo od samega Bude Šakjamunija, 9 stopenj šamate prihajajo od samega Bude Šakjamunija.
we can find this method of shamatha in his teachings in the sutras, many sutras.
To učenje, njegovo učenje o šamati najdemo v mnogih sutrah.
And it was practiced in India very widely.
In ta praksa je bila v Indiji široko razširjena.
And of course, then later on, it was taken, the lineage of this particular shamatha practice method was taken from India to Tibet, and then very widely practiced and preserved in Tibet by the great Tibetan masters.
In kasneje je ta linija prišla iz Indije, se je prenesla tudi na Tibet in tam se je ohranila s tem, da so prakticirali mnogi mojstri.
It is one of the most important shamatha practice in the lineage of the Mahamudra practice also.
In teh 9 stopenj šamate je najbolj pomembnih metod tudi v liniji Mahamudra prakse.
If one practices these 9 methods of shamatha, or the 9 methods of resting the mind, then it includes many different methods of shamatha meditation, and it is in itself a complete shamatha meditation practice.
In ta praksa 9 metod umirjanja uma ali šamate vsebuje že sama veliko različnih metod ali pristopov k šamati in sam na sebi teh 9 metod je popoln sistem šamate.
So now the 9 stages or the methods of resting the mind, so maybe you can just make a note. I don't know exactly in English how it is translated, but I found this translation, so I'm sure it has been translated by people who know. So I guess it is okay. So anyways, so the first method or the first practice is called placing the mind. In Tibetan it's called Jogpa. So Jog means to place, so to place, so placing the mind.
Zdaj bo Rinpoče naštel teh 9 stopenj ali teh 9 metod v okviru tega sistema in si lahko naredite zapiske. Rinpoče je našel nek angleški prevod in prepričan je, da so ljudje, ki so to prevajali, naredili dobro delo, tako da je v redu ta prevod. In prva stopnja se imenuje to položiti ali pa postaviti po tibetansko se reče Jogpa.
Then that is the first. Now the second, it is in Tibetan, it is Kuntu Jogpa, so Jogpa same, and added to that Kuntu, so Kuntu Jogpa, so which means continuously placing the mind. So placing the mind, but continuously, so continuously placing the mind.
In druga stopnja se imenuje Kuntu Jogpa, se pravi ravno tako kot prej Jogpa postaviti Kuntu pa pomeni, da je ves čas postavljen.
Now the third method or the third practice, it is in Tibetan Ngepar Jogpa, so placing again. In English is placing again.
In tretja stopnja se imenuje v tibetanščini Ngepar Jogpa, kar bi bilo potem prevod ponovno postavljen
So sometimes also Ngepar is precisely placing, precisely placing or placing again. So I guess it means the same. I don't know.
Ngepar se lahko prevede tudi natančno postavljen
Yes. And then now the fourth is Nyevar Jogpa. So Nyevar Jogpa, when translated, is close placement. Close, close placement.
Četrta stopnja je Njevar Jogpa. To bi lahko prevedli kot ki je postavljen zelo blizu.
The fifth is Tulvar Shepa. Tulvar Shepa. So Tulvar means taming. So to tame, taming. Shepa means to do. So taming. To tame.
Peta stopnja se imenuje po tibetansko Tulvar Shepa. Shepa pomeni, da nekaj naredimo, in Tulvar pomeni ukrotiti oziroma ukročen, se pravi ukrotimo
Then the sixth method is in Tibetan Shivar Shepa. Shivar Shepa. So in English translated as pacifying. Shiva means to pacify. Shivar Shepa, pacifying. So Shepa means doing. So the ing, so pacifying.
Shivar Shepa je šesta stopnja. Shepa spet pomeni nekaj storiti, se pravi to narediti. In Shivar pa pomeni, da umirimo
Then the seventh method is Nyevar Shivar Shepa. So English is thoroughly pacifying.
In sedma stopnja je Njevar Shivar Shepa, kar pomeni, da je v popolnosti ali pa temeljito umirjen
And the eighth method, Tibetan, is Chiktu Shepa, and in English written as one-pointedness.
In naslednja osma stopnja se imenuje Chiktu Shivar Shepa. In to je eno točko.
Chiktu Shepa.
Chiktu Shepa.
Shepa means to do.
Kar pomeni, da je enotočkovno, pozornost je zbrana v eni točki.
Then the ninth one is Nyampar Jogpa. Nyampar Jogpa. So placing the mind in equipoise. So Jogpa is placing, so placing the mind in equipoise.
In zadnja deveta stopnja se imenuje Nyampar Jogpa. Jogpa pomeni postaviti, Nyampar pa pomeni popolno ravnovesje.
Nyampa means, like equanimity, same, so Manyamba means not same, so.
Nyampa pomeni, da je vse v popolnem ravnovesju.
Okay, so those are the, the 9 methods on which we will be doing the shamatha practice one by one.
In teh 9 stopenj bomo pogledali zdaj eno za drugo 9 metod šamata prakse.
Now, when one does the practice, then, like for example myself, I received these practices in the practice of the Mahamudra from my precious Supreme Guru, the 12th Taisituba, and given to me in a systematic way of practice. Systematic means step-by-step practice, starting right from the the refuge bodhicitta to the main practice till the dedication part. So inclusive of all the 3 precious methods.
In Rinpoče pravi, sam je prejel od svojega dragocenega najvišjega guruja Tajsitu Rinpočeja to prakso, in sicer v okviru učenj Mahamudre. In ko je prejel to prakso, je bilo to na sistematičen način, korak po korak, in začenši z zatočiščem, bodičito, potem z glavno prakso in na koncu s posvetitvijo, se pravi s temi tremi dragocenimi metodami, o katerih smo govorili včeraj.
We are very fortunate to have such step-by-step, guidance of practice, because most of the time one is given, the detailed method of the practice, and then one, try to do the practice. But here, step-by-step method made very easy. Not only give you the food to eat, but put it in your mouth with the spoon. So it is that simple.
Rinpoče pravi, da smo lahko zelo srečni, da imamo veliko srečo, da imamo lahko ta pristop, ko nas učitelj vodi od koraka do koraka, postopoma do tega, da se naučimo delati določeno prakso, ker navada je ponavadi taka, da je neka metoda obširno razložena, potem smo pa sami prepuščeni in poskušamo delati to prakso, kakor vemo in znamo. Tukaj gre pa za to, da je podrobno razložena korak po koraku na lahek način, in primerjali bi lahko to s tem, kot da če nam nekdo ne samo da hrano, ampak nas tudi hrani žličko po žličko.
So if one just does the practice as laid out to you, then just by doing it in this systematic way, one would be benefiting immensely and will gradually see the result. So no need to complicate oneself with too many things. No need to try and figure out why the food sits on this side of the spoon and not on the other side of the spoon, why the spoon is this size or that size, why it is this shape and not that shape. So you don't have to, not necessary to, do all those complicating, kind of assessments. It is made that simple.
In Rinpoče pravi, da je praksa tako predstavljena, da samo s tem, da sledimo navodilom, bomo dosegli veliko korist za nas in postopoma bomo videli tudi rezultate te prakse, in pravi, da ni nobene potrebe za to, da bi komplicirali in razmišljali o tem, zakaj je hrana postavljena na mizi na to ali ono stran, ali kakšna je žlica ali oblika žlice in tako naprej. Vse to je nepotrebno, vse ta razmišljanja so popolnoma nepotrebna, preprosto sledimo navodilom in s tem bodo prišli rezultati prakse.
Of course, you can do all the complicating assessments if you want. You are most welcome to do all that. But I would rather not do it and, get the food into myself easier. And that way I will get full faster than one who tries to assess and, kind of complicate oneself and slowly eat the food. So I would rather like to taste the food faster. So something like that. So everything put down very systematic, very easy. We just follow that and do it in the right way, and then through that, then gradual, through our own gradual practice, then we will experience. We will experience first, and then through the experience, develop insight and realization.
Rinpoče pravi, seveda ste dobrodošli, da če hočete razmišljati o vsem tem in analizirati, komplicirati, potem lahko tudi to počnete. Sam zase ve, da ima rajši, da takoj izkusi hrano, in da takoj vidi ali pa da takoj lahko okusi tisto, kar je smisel vsega skupaj, se pravi, da dobi hrano vase. In v tem sistemu je vse zelo sistematično razloženo in zelo lahki so ti koraki, in če jih pravilno izvajamo in delamo svojo lastno prakso, potem bomo prišli do najprej izkušnje o umirjenem umu, potem do vpogleda in na koncu do realizacije.
So, I and I think few of you also request our Lotsawa here to translate like this, alternately rather than simultaneously. Of course, for him more easier simultaneously, I think, but for me, as I said, I am lazy, I need some rest in between, so, and then for you also, I think more time to write, so that way, this way is good, so I request him this, though it must be, more of a hassle for him, but anyways, so we see how it goes.
Rinpoče je samo še dodal, da smo se pogovarjali o načinu prevajanja in da za njega je lažje, če prevajamo tako, kot se prevaja zdaj, se pravi, da je slovenski prevod zaporeden, in potem Rinpoče pravi, da lahko vmes tudi malo se odpočije, in zaradi tega bomo zaenkrat šli naprej, tako kot smo šli do zdaj, pa bomo videli, kako bo.
Yeah. I have this habit of talking fast, and I try to talk slow, so every time I try to talk slow, but slowly become fast, so when I go, especially when I go to places like UK, Australia, New Zealand, where no translator required, I have big problem.
Rinpoče pravi, da se trudi govoriti počasi, ampak ker ima tako navado, da precej hitro govori, potem s časom začne zmeraj hitreje govoriti, in pravi, da kadar gre v angleško govoreče kraje, v Anglijo, Avstralijo, Novo Zelandijo, potem ima probleme zaradi tega.
2-3 hours each session, and 3-4 sessions a day, I need to continuously talk without break, so of course it's my own doing. If I talk slower, I can get break, but somehow don't manage that, so yeah, it becomes very, I don't know, I feel like a robot, so.
Rinpoče je rekel, da potem pride do tega, da so 2 do 3 urno sedenja, se pravi 2 do 3 urna učenja, in to 3-4 na dan, in potem pravi, da je utrujen, da ni nobene pauze vmes, in pravi, da je tudi sam v bistvu prispeval k tem, ker toliko hitro govori, namesto da bi lepo počasi govoril in si vmes delo pauze, in zaradi tega je pol mal težji.
Yeah. So I'm always very grateful to all the translators, not only for translating for me, but even for giving me this extra time to rest.
Rinpoče pravi, da je vesel, kadar ima prevajalce, ker ne samo da prevajajo, ampak zaradi tega lahko tudi on vmes si naredi malo premora.
Okay, so now back to the practice. So maybe you can note down the steps that I will give you. So every practice, whatever practice that you do, especially like this, shamatha practice, then later on the vipassana practice, and any practice that you do, if you can follow in such steps, then it is very meaningful, it is very complete, and it will be able to bring out the complete, pure, genuine practice in you. So I think it is important to follow such step, because such steps have been laid out by enlightened masters who through their own practice and realization have manifested, So not just created by somebody like us who really have not reached the level of realization.
In potem Rinpoche pravi, da bo zdaj povedal prav točke, po katerih ki je dobro, da jim sledimo, korake, ki je dobro, da jim sledimo vsaki svoji praksi, če delamo šamata, vipassano ali pa katerokoli prakso, ker če delamo prakso na tak način, po teh korakih, potem je to smiselno in je to popolna praksa in bo taka praksa pripeljala do popolnega, čistega, avtentičnega prakticiranja, oziroma bo naša praksa čista, popolna in avtentična. In zato je pomembno, da sledimo tem korakom, ki so jih pokazali ali pa so prišli od razsvetljenih mojstrov in ta navodila so sad njihove lastne prakse in realizacije, se pravi njihove modrosti in upogleda. Teh praks niso zapisali ali pa ustvarili ljudje, kot smo mi sami, običajni ljudje, ki nimajo nobenega upogleda, nobene realizacije.
So the step number 1 is, you can recite like the lineage prayer or, so any prayer. Here normally for us we do the lineage prayer, like we already did that time, before starting we did the lineage prayer. So through such, then it kind of creates the right environment, creates the right energy through one's development of genuine devotion, genuine loving kindness, compassion, genuine motivation. So through all that kind of, igniting all those in you creates the most appropriate conditions for the practice to follow.
In na začetku prvi korak je recitacija molitev ali recitacija molitev k mojstrom linije, to, kar tudi mi počnemo in smo danes naredili takoj na začetku. In s temi molitvami ustvarimo pravilno dobro okolje, pravilno dobro energijo, v sebi vzbudimo avtentično, resnično predanost, nesebično ljubezen in sočutje, v sebi vzbudimo pravilno motivacijo. In vse te stvari s to molitvijo se v nas prižgejo in to so najboljši možni pogoji za to, da potem delamo prakso.
Like, for example, you wake up in the morning and you make a sincere, sincere, genuine wish for your day to go meaningfully, to be able to benefit and be of use for yourself and for others the entire day. And, so that way, if you start your day, then the entire day will go very nicely. Even if you face some problems, you will be able to overcome such problems, or at least you will not be affected by them so much. But in the other hand, if you wake up in the morning and straight away get upset or get angry or have that kind of a behavior or mindset, then that entire day, no matter what you experience, you will be experiencing the negative part of that, So always, no matter what the situation, even if not so bad, you will only see the bad part of that, and your day will go not very well. So, to make the environment, to make the conditions conducive, favorable is very important.
Ko se zjutraj zbudimo, Rinpoche dal je naprimer podobno, zakaj delamo na začetku, povsem na začetku te molitve. Če se zbudimo z iskreno, srčno željo, da bi naš dan bil osmišljen, da bomo lahko v tem dnevu koristili sebi in drugim, potem bo cel naš dan potekal na ta način in bomo imeli dobre izkušnje, in tudi če se bomo srečali s kakšnimi problemi, jih bomo lahko presegli ali pa nas vsaj ne bojo vrgli iz tira. Medtem ko, če se zjutraj zbudimo in je prva stvar, da se razjezimo ali smo razburjeni zaradi česa, potem bo cel dan potekal na ta način, da bomo opazili v vsaki situaciji samo njen negativni aspekt in tudi v situacijah, ki niso tako slabe, bomo videli samo slabo. In tak dan ne bo potekal dobro. Zato je smisel te začetne molitve, da v sebi ustvarimo, oziroma da ustvarimo ugodne pogoje za to, da bo naša praksa dobra, in to je zelo pomembno.
Now the second step, as we did yesterday, you place your palms on your knees with your back straight, and then close your eyes and relax for some time. Relax till you are completely relaxed. So there's no fixed time here. Of course, when we do like this in a group, then somebody has to lead and have some kind of a fixed time. But when you do your own practice, till you are completely relaxed, then you sit for some time.
In drugi korak je, kot smo včeraj pokazali oziroma pogledali, da odložimo dlani na kolena, sedimo z vzravnanim hrbtom, potem zapremo oči in ostanemo tako, dokler ne dosežemo tega, da smo popolnoma sproščeni. In tukaj ni predpisano, koliko časa ne ostanemo, ampak smo v tem položaju in se poskušamo popolnoma umiriti. Seveda v skupini nekdo vodi prakso in pove, kdaj je konec tega dela, ampak kadar smo sami, ko delamo prakso, ni določen čas, se pravi, da toliko časa sedimo in se umirjamo, da čutimo, da smo popolnoma sproščeni.
No hurry to get to your practice, just relax. If you are hurrying yourself to get to the practice, means you are not relaxed. So you just sit there, relax, till you are completely calm and relaxed.
In nikamor se ne mudi, ni treba hiteti, da bi začeli z glavnim delom prakse, kajti če se nam nekam mudi, pomeni, da nismo umirjeni, da nismo sproščeni, in tukaj se samo sprostimo in umirimo, in to je vse. Popolnoma sprostimo in umirimo.
So as I said yesterday, of course there's no fixed rule of, when you relax, how to relax, but through my own experience, then as we did yesterday, when you relax, then take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, let go of everything. And then as you relax, then one can scan right from the crown till the toe, slowly scan, and where it is tense, one let it relax that way. When you scan, you will recognize that where you are tensed up, let it relax. And that way, scan yourself a few times. And when you do that, then automatically, somehow you will be able to relax mentally, physically. So that way, and then it is it helps me to do that. So, it is, you could try that.
Včeraj, ko smo govorili o tem, smo rekli, da ni nobenega predpisanega načina, kako naj se sprostimo. Rinpoche pravi, da po njegovih lastnih izkušnjah pomaga, kadar globoko vdihnemo in potem z izdihom poskušamo sprostiti vse napetosti in potem pregledamo s pozornostjo svoje telo od vrha glave do prstov na nogah, gremo lepo počasi navzdol in če zaznamo, da smo nekje napeti, se potem sprostimo ta del in to lahko ponovimo nekajkrat in če to naredimo, se avtomatično pride do tega, da se umsko in telesno sprostimo in Rinpoche čeprav, da lahko to poskusite, po njegovih izkušnjah je to zelo koristno.
Then the third step, so once you are relaxed, then now you put your hands in the meditative mudra as we discussed yesterday on your lap, and then you do the 21 breathing shamatha meditation one time.
In tretji korak je, da roke položimo v mudro ali gesto meditacije, jih odložimo v naročje, kot smo pokazali včeraj, in potem preštejemo 21 ciklov in smo pozorni na dihanje, se pravi izvajamo šamato z 21 cikli dihanja in to naredimo enkrat.
So with this it will further establish and one will be able to kind of achieve a calm abiding state of the mind to a certain extent.
In tretji korak, ko to naredimo, bo to še bolj umirilo, nas bo to še bolj umirilo in sprostilo in na ta način bomo lahko do neke mere že dosegli umirjeno stanje uma.
So in this kind of a calm state, in this kind of a clear state, in this kind of a genuine state, then you do the refuge. So the next step, the fourth step, is the refuge. Normally the sentence which we recite includes both refuge and bodhicitta. The common one is Sangji Chutang Soji Chonamla, Changchu Partu Dani Chapsuchi, Dake Jinzoji Sonamji, Dola Penchir Sangji Dubarsho. Then the first two sentences is refuge, the second two sentences bodhicitta. So here recite the refuge and bodhicitta 3 times, and when you do that, then of course your hands in the supplication mudra, because you are taking refuge, so you do it with the supplication mudra. Supplication mudra is this, supplicating.
In potem, ko se na ta način z 21 cikli diha šamate že umirimo in potem pridemo v umirjeno, jasno stanje, naravno stanje uma in pridemo do 4. točke. In 4. točka je recitacija zatočišča. Ponavadi recitiramo stavke, ki vključujejo zatočišče in bodhicitta molitev in jih ponovimo 3-krat. Sangye chodan soki chonan na janju bardu dan ki apsuchi da gijin soki pesonan ki jole penčir sangye do paršok. Prva 2 stavka sta zatočišče, ko jemljamo zatočišče, in druga 2 stavka govorita o bodhicitti, to ponovimo 3-krat. In ko recitiramo to molitev, imamo roke v mudri ali v gesti prošnje, kot je Rinpoche pokazal.
Then next, the step 5 is the 4 limitless thought. So here the bodhicitta, you further establish the the motivation of the bodhicitta through the 4 limitless thoughts. So when you recite this, then you can have your hands in the supplication mudra, or you can have it as the meditative mudra. So it doesn't matter, because here you are not taking refuge. You are developing loving kindness, compassion towards all mother sentient beings. So, normally we do the meditative mudra.
Peta točka je potem recitacija in pa to, da pri sebi vzbudimo to stanje štirih neskončnih misli, štirih brezmejnih misli, kjer še poglobimo našo motivacijo bodhicitte. In ko recitiramo to molitev, lahko imamo bodisi v mudri prošnje, roko mudri prošnje ali pa v mudri meditacije, ker tukaj ne jemljamo več zatočišča in ponavadi imamo roke odložene v mudri meditacije v naročju.
So then the next is step number 6. Then again you do the 21 breathing shamatha meditation. If you have time, then 3 times. If not, then 1 time.
In šesti korak je spet ponovimo to, da ohranjamo pozornost na dihu in sicer šamata s pozornostjo na dihu in 21 ciklov diha ponovimo. Če imamo čas, lahko to ponovimo 3-krat po 21, če ne pa samo enkrat.
So supposing you are doing your main practice as the shamatha meditation on the breathing, then you can continue doing how much ever number of the breathing meditation you want to do here.
In kadar je to naša glavna praksa, se pravi, da je naša glavna praksa šamate z osredotočenjem na dih, potem lahko naredimo, kolikor ponovitev želimo.
So here, of course, today we are doing the 9 methods of resting the mind. So we have to do the first method. So because of that, and then here the 6th step is the breathing shamatha 3 times or 1 time, depending on the time. And then after that, the next step would be the main practice step.
In ker danes se učimo 9 metod, 9 stopenj šamate, je potem ta metoda že v enem prva metoda šamate, opazovanje diha, potem pa sledijo naslednje stopnje šamate kot naša glavna praksa.
So here now the 7th step is we will do the first method that way. So anyways, now the first method, this just leave a gap there because I don't want to start right now. First I will explain all these steps. So 6th is the main practice, the steps. Now the 7th step.
Zdaj sledi 7. korak po glavni praksi, ki je 6. korak.
7th step is then you do, after you finish your main practice, then you do the 21 breathing shamatha 1 time again.
In 7. korak je, da potem, ko smo zaključili svojo glavno prakso, katerakoli praksa že to je, spet ponovimo šamato s pozornostjo na dih z 21 cikli diha. Enkrat.
Then the next step is we do a dedication. We do dedicate the merit accumulated through one's practice for the benefit of all sentient beings. So we dedicate. So recitation is there for dedication. So we read those recitations and then we think on genuinely wanting to benefit beings. So for this purpose, then the merit one accumulates through such practice, the practice that one develops. So may this benefit all mother sentient beings. So we genuinely dedicate that way.
In potem točka, 8. korak je to, da posvetimo zaslugo, pozitivne zasluge, ki smo jih zbrali s tem, kar smo počeli, vso pozitivno energijo in jo posvetimo za dobrobit vseh čutečih bitij. In s to mislijo potem preberemo recitacijo posvetitve in v sebi vzbudimo resnično željo, da želimo pomagati vsem čutečim bitjem in da ne imajo od tega, da smo delali prakso, tudi korist vsa čuteča bitja, ki so bila nekoč naše matere.
Then after that, the next step, what number was it?
Eight.
Number 8. So the 8th step,
No, this is
ninth step.
nine.
So the 9th step then you do is again the shamatha breathing meditation one time.
In 9. korak je, da spet naredimo enkrat šamato z osredotočenjem na dih.
So here, depending on the previous practice, a little bit, sometimes the 7th step, the shamatha, on the 7th step, which is the shamatha meditation, shamatha meditation, right? The 7th step. So one might skip that step and then in place of the 7th step does the dedication after one's main practice, then direct to the dedication, and after the dedication then do the the 21 breathing, so that way a little bit flexible there, sometimes. After your main practice, 6th is the main practice, right? So after the main practice, I said the 7th step, do a 21 breathing shamatha once again, or 3 times I said. So instead of that, supposing you are doing your main practice as the shamatha 21 breathing or doing some shamatha, then after that is concluded, then instead of doing the 7th step as the shamatha again, you can do the dedication there. 7th step as dedication, and then the 8th step as the the shamatha meditation again. So that way, a little bit flexible there.
Okay, zdaj pri teh korakih lahko, če je naša glavna praksa že sama meditacija šamate, potem po glavni praksi, po 6. koraku ni treba, da naredimo 7. korak, kjer še enkrat ponovimo 21 ciklov pozornosti na dihanje šamate, ampak lahko to spustimo in naredimo takoj posvetitev in potem na koncu še enkrat, se pravi spustimo v bistvu 7. korak. To je možno.
It must be sounding complicating, but it is not. When you do the practice, it will fall into place, because it is step by step. Right now when you are writing and you haven't done the steps, then sounding a little bit confusing.
Mogoče zdaj, ko samo govorimo o tem, se zdi malce zapleteno, ampak kako boste delali prakso, se bo vse lepo, boste videli, da bo vse lepo prišlo skupaj, tako kot je treba.
Supposing you are doing shamatha in a calm abiding state, 21 meditation, then after that, then you are very relaxed and then you maintain that as we did yesterday, and after that maintaining, then there is nowhere but to do the dedication, isn't it? It follows automatically. So you do the dedication, and then after dedication, then again go back to calm abiding state of mind through the shamatha. So step by step it will come one after another.
In Rinpoche pravi, da če že je naša glavna praksa, da delamo šamata 21 ciklov dihanja in potem bomo že, ko bomo zaključili z glavnim delom prakse, že umirjeni, naš bo sproščen, popolnoma sproščen in umirjen in bomo lahko v tem stanju potem recitirali posvetitev in potem po posvetitvi spet se vrnemo na to umirjeno stanje uma, da spet opazujemo dih. In na ta način vse stvari naravno pridejo skupaj.
Then again, your main practice, if you are doing like prostration, recitation, like this, then at the end, after ending that, then you can do the shamatha meditation, calm yourself down, do for a few times. Then when you reach that calm abiding state, then maintain that state. In that state, then do dedication, and after dedication, again do a shamatha, So depending on the practice, the steps will follow. It's not confusing at all. So when you do it, it will happen.
In prav Rinpoče, da v bistvu je vse skupaj zelo logično, da ni zapleteno. Če je recimo naša glavna praksa, da delamo prostracijo ali pa recitacijo mantre, potem je naravno, da potem sledi korak, ko spet naredimo 21 ciklov šamate, bodi se enkrat ali trikrat in se spet umirimo in potem, ko se umirimo, iz tega stanja recitiramo posvetitev zaslug za vsa čuteča bitja in potem se spet vrnemo na to, da umirimo do konca svoj um.
Now, the next step, which is number 10 or 9, I'm not sure. So it is, after the shamatha meditation, then you place your hands on the knees and relax. As we did in the beginning, not straight away after practice, get up and start walking and back to the normal, busy life. So not that way. Relax and maintain that state and relax for some time.
In 10. korak je potem, da tako kot na začetku spet položimo dlani na kolena in se sprostimo. Se pravi, ni tako, da bi takoj po praksi vstali in začeli spet z dnevnimi aktivnostmi, z zaposlenim življenjem, ampak se najprej sprostimo, preden zapustimo meditacijo.
And then, as you come out of that, then you say the 100th syllable mantra. That's the next and final step.
In zadnja, 11. stopnja, 11. korak je to, da recitiramo 100 zložno mantro Vajrasattve, mantro očiščenja.
And after that, then you try and maintain that state of calm, abiding state of mind, and then you come out of it and do, and then do whatever you do, day-to-day life activity you start doing, but maintaining that calm, abiding state of mind as much as possible. So not straight away your practice is over means everything is over. Then you go back to your, whatever you do, mindlessly doing everything, so not like that. Try to maintain this mindfulness throughout the day as much as possible.
In Rinpoče pravi, potem, ko zaključimo s prakso, poskušamo to stanje, ki smo ga dosegli, stanje sproščenosti in umirenega uma, ohraniti in gremo v takem stanju uma, nadaljujemo s svojimi dnevnimi aktivnostmi in ga poskušamo skozi ves dan ohranjati, kolikor je le mogoče. Se pravi, ne gre za to, da končamo s prakso in potem spet brez vsakega zavedanja nadaljujemo svoj dan, ampak poskušamo to stanje zavedanja in umirjenosti ohranjati skozi cel dan.
So now, all these steps, all this, trying to develop devotion, genuine positivity, positiveness, genuine loving kindness, compassion, so all this is very important.
In vsi koraki tukaj so zelo pomembni, to, da poskušamo razviti iskreno predanost, zaupanje, pozitivno stanje uma, nesebično ljubezen, sočutje, vse to je zelo pomembno.
Because here we are trying to develop first calm, abiding state of mind, and through that then try to gain insight into the nature of our mind, the primordial, limitless potential of ourselves and of everything. So this limitless potential, this nature of our mind is positive, is pure, is limitless. So the quality of this is positive. So it is free of all negativity, free of all confusions, free of all conflicting emotions. So therefore, in order to make connection with that, in order to recognize that, then we have to make the conditions most favorable for that. And so by doing these steps, generating such positivity in us, already our nature manifests. And, so that way, then it is very much easier to recognize the nature or the potential.
In zakaj je to zelo pomembno? Ker se trudimo, svojo prakso se trudimo razviti umirjen in zato, da bi lahko prišli do vpogleda v to, kakšna je narava našega uma, da bi jasno videli, kakšna je resnična narava našega uma. In to je naš primordialni neomejeni potencial. In poskušamo videti, kaj je resnična narava nas in vsega, kar obstaja. In sama narava uma je sama na sebi pozitivna, je čista, je neomejena, je osvobojena vseh negativnosti, osvobojena vse nevednosti in zmede, je osvobojena vseh negativnih čustev, vseh negativnih stanj uma. In zato, da bi se povezali s to našo resnično naravo, da bi jo prepoznali, moramo narediti najboljše možne pogoje, moramo ustvariti najboljše možne pogoje. In če sledimo tem korakom in v sebi vzbudimo pozitivno stanje uma, kot so nesebična ljubezen, sočutje, predanost in tako naprej, potem se na nek način že manifestira naša resnična narava, smo jo že na nek način prepoznali in kadar ustvarimo take pogoje, potem je veliko lažje prepoznati, kaj je naša resnična narava, kaj je naš resnični neomejeni potencial.
When we develop genuine devotion, when we develop genuine loving kindness, compassion, so in this state of mind, there is no space for any negativity. There is no space for any jealousy, any anger, any hatred, any ego. There is no space for all that. You cannot develop devotion and have jealousy. You cannot develop loving kindness, compassion and have hatred. So it is opposite. So there is no space for all that. So when you are able to develop genuine loving kindness, compassion, genuine devotion, genuine confidence, then in that, there is no space for all these negative. And the state or the nature of this and the nature of our mind, the potential, limitless nature of us is the same. So even recognizing the nature of our mind, one can recognize through this. So this is the most powerful and most, easy way to recognizing the nature of our mind. So if you are able to develop genuine devotion, genuine loving kindness, compassion, and in that state, if one looks at the nature of mind, it is very much easier to recognize the nature of mind, because the nature of mind and that nature is one.
In če nam uspe razviti resnično predanost, resnično nesebično ljubezen, resnično sočutje, potem v našem umu ni več nobenega prostora za negativna stanja, kot so zavist ali jeza, sovraštvo, ego. Kadar se v nas pojavi, kadar se v nas razvije resnična predanost, potem ne more obenem v našem umu obstajati tudi stanje zavisti. Če razvijemo nesebično ljubezen, ni mogoče, da bi v našem umu poleg tega obstajalo še sovraštvo. Se pravi, če razvijamo resnično predanost, resnično nesebično ljubezen, sočutje, zaupanje, potem ni nobenega prostora za kakršnokoli negativno stanje uma. In narava uma, ki je popolno predan ali je v njem nesebična ljubezen in sočutje, predanost, zaupanje, je enaka, kot je naša resnična narava, naš neskončni potencial. To je ena in ista stvar. In če lahko v sebi prebudimo te kvalitete, se pravi predanost, nesebično ljubezen, sočutje, zaupanje, potem je to najlažja pot, kako prepoznamo resnično naravo uma, ker ko razvijamo te kvalitete, je to, kar smo razvili, v bistvu že eno in isto z resnično naravo uma in takrat jo najlažje prepoznamo, ker sta nerazdružljiva eno.
You know, the nature of us and nature of everything, as I said, limitless potential has no barrier. It has no limitations. So, one very good example is, all of us normally have lots of pets, right? Animals, pets. And, you cannot talk to them as in, they cannot speak the language that way. But somehow when we are genuinely, concerned of them, when we genuinely care for these, then they somehow connect with us, internally, you connect with each other. You can speak to each other that way. So that is possible because of this. Externally language, they cannot speak with you, they cannot learn the language. But that is not a barrier. Those are just limitations that we create. Language is something that we created. A few hundred years back, we said such and such is such and such, so it has to be this. So you can only speak one language, I start learning another one, and two of us cannot communicate with each other, because we create this barrier between each other with languages. So that is just, those are, it is very interesting. Ultimately there is no barrier as such. So this is how one can, one can understand. So there is no limitations to such.
In potem, kot je Rinpoče rekel, narava nas samih in narava vsega pojavnega je neskončni potencial, ki je brezmejen. In dober primer za to, recimo, da vidimo, da je to res tako, je, mnogi izmed nas imamo hišne ljubimce, živali, in živali ne znajo igrati. Kaj hišne živali? Hišne ljubljenčke, kaj sem rekel? Včasih so tudi to. I used the wrong word. Okay, imamo hišne ljubljenčke, ki seveda ne govorijo človeškega jezika in na ta način na zunanjem nivoju ne moramo komunicirati z njim, ampak zaradi naše iskrene skrbi, zaradi naše iskrene ljubezni do njih, se lahko povežemo notranje in na ta način v bistvu komuniciramo, lahko se razumemo z njimi, čeprav ne uporabljamo jezika. In jezik je omejitev, ki smo jo sami ustvarili in tudi ni že od nekdaj ne obstaja, ali pa jezik se tudi spreminja in potem, ne vem, če se nekdo nauči en jezik in nekdo drug jezik, potem kar naenkrat se zdi, kot da ne morata komunicirati med sabo, ampak v resnici gre tukaj za umetno omejitev, ker naše resnično stanje uma nima na absolutnem nivoju ni nikakršnih omejitev in lahko na ta način tudi vidimo, lahko komuniciramo recimo z živalmi, brez da bi uporabljali človeški jezik.
I have big problem with rats, I am very close to horses, so I can communicate very well with horse, but with rat somehow I'm unable to communicate. Because I'm not open enough. So that is my problem. If I'm able to open up with rats, I'm 100% sure I will be able to appreciate. We can understand very much each other very well. But somehow I have this barrier right now. Because like I wouldn't mind getting kicked by a horse. I can appreciate that. But I know a rat cannot do much to me. It is harmless. Yet I'm so afraid of rat. I don't know why. So it is like this, so it is you able to open up, so if you are able to open up that way, genuinely, then one is able to be one with, everyone. So that is what we mean by, everyone is one with you, you are one with everyone. Everything is one with you, one, you are one with everything. So that is crossing the barrier of you and me. That is crossing the barrier of limitations. So it is limitless. It is, it is one.
Rinpoče je spet dal za primer, da ne more dobro, ima problem s podganami. Recimo, konji so mu zelo blizu, ampak z podganami pa ne more komunicirati prav zaradi tega, ker ima on zadržke, ker si on postavil omejitve, ker se ne more odpreti dovolj. In je pa 100% prepričan, da če bi se lahko odprl, bi se lahko tudi s podganami pogovarjal, komuniciral. In prav, da recimo paradoksno, če bi ga konj brcnil, mu to ne bi povzročili nekega velikega problema, ampak podganom pa ne more prav zares fizično narediti, se jih pa boji. In zaradi tega iz tega je razvidno, da če se lahko odpremo, če se lahko iskreno odpremo, potem se lahko povežemo z vsemi in vsi so povezani z nami, ker v resnici s tem presežemo omejitve in postanemo nerazdružljivo eno. Vsa druga bitja so eno z nami in mi smo eno z vsemi drugimi bitji.
So that way then we can see how important it is to develop genuine loving kindness, compassion, genuine devotion. So through that, if we do this practice, then it is much more powerful, much more efficient, much more, one can experience more genuinely. So when we say devotion, again, lots of people have problem with this word devotion. So it is important to understand what devotion means.
In zdaj vidimo, kako pomembno je, da razvijamo resnično nesebično ljubezen, predanost, sočutje. Na ta način bo tudi naša praksa veliko bolj učinkovita in veliko bolj avtentična. In pravi Rinpoče, da nekateri ljudje imajo problem z besedo predanost in zato je treba dobro razumeti, kaj ta beseda pomeni.
I have devotion in my Guru, but I am not forced to have devotion to him. I am not forced to follow him, but I have devotion in him. We have devotion in Buddha. Why do we have devotion in Buddha? We are not forced to follow Buddha. We are not forced to have faith in Buddha. There is no forcing of anybody to anything. So Buddha himself has said, the path, the Dhamma that he has manifested, one must examine that, not blindly follow it, but examine. So how to examine? You have to learn, isn't it? If you don't learn, and you cannot examine. So you learn that and then examine with an open mind, not with a one-sided mind, that my is right and yours is wrong, so let me try and prove that yours is wrong. So that is not the way to examine anything. When you examine with a genuine openness, genuine equanimity. So through that, when you examine, then if you see that what my teaching, if it is meaningful, then you follow it. If you think is not meaningful, or makes sense, then nobody is forced to follow my teaching. So Buddha himself has said that. So therefore, there is no question of having forceful devotion to anything. So devotion doesn't mean that. Lots of us have problem with faith. Faith means we are forced to recognize something, or we are forced to accept something. So nobody is forced to accept anything. We have to develop this faith or devotion through understanding.
Zdaj, ko govorimo o predanosti, Rinpoče pravi, on je predan in sledi svojemu učitelju, ampak ne na silo, ni mu prisiljen slediti in imamo predanost do Bude in mu zaupamo in mu sledimo, ampak to ni zaradi tega, ker bi bili prisiljeni to početi, ampak je Buda sam je rekel, da dharma ali učenje, pot, ki jo je pokazal, da jo je treba preučiti, da jo moramo sami preučiti in da ji ne smemo slepo slediti. In kako lahko preučimo to pot, kako lahko vidimo, ali je ta pot prava ali ne, je tako, da se učimo. In kako se lahko učimo in kako lahko preiskujemo nekaj z odprtim umom, je tako, da ne začnemo že z neko idejo, da imamo mi prav in nekdo drug narobe in potem je vse skupaj samo stvar tega, kdo bo prepričal koga, kdo ima prav, ampak s resnično odprtim umom in z nepristranskim pogledom poskušamo spoznati neko stvar. In ko poslušamo učenja in če ta učenja, ki jih slišimo, imajo nek smisel, če se nas dotaknejo in vidimo, da so smiselna, da za nas nosijo nek pomen, potem jim lahko sledimo in Buda je učil na tak način. Nihče ne more biti na silo prisiljen v to, da bo sledil nečemu oziroma da bo predan. Mnogi izmed nas imamo mogoče težave zaradi tega, ker smo bili prisiljeni, da skozi razne religije sledimo ali pa smo prisiljeni sprejeti določene stvari, ampak resnična vera in predanost in zaupanje se lahko razvijata samo skozi naše razumevanje.
When Buddha said that it is not others who are your enemy or who bring suffering to you, but actually it is this I, the misconception of this greatest limitless potential in you, which you misconceive, not recognize this, but misconceive this to be this limited I, and so much self-grasping onto this I, and through this I, then develop all other confusion, ignorance, ego, jealousy, etc., etc. And then through those kind of emotions, then we create various actions through our body, through our speech, through our mind, which create various karma, and through this karma, then we experience suffering. So it is we ourselves, our misconception of this I, which create all our sufferings. So when Buddha taught us that, then when we examine it and see, we can really understand, we can see, that others are harmless. What can others do to you? Actually it is you yourself, this misconception of yourself, which create all problem. People with very strong ego, very easy to get hurt. People with not much ego, they are more happy people. No matter somebody say something to you or do something to you, you are able to take it with a pinch of salt and no problem, it doesn't matter. And you can make it into a joke also, and enjoy. That way you are able to make friends with everybody also. But you have strong ego, then anybody say a little bit to you, you are easily affected by that. And then you get upset, you get angry. And then what does that do? That brings unhappiness in you. That brings great suffering in you. So you yourself hammering your own head. So it is like that. So when Buddha taught, when we examine, when we contemplate on this, meditate on this, then really it is, how it is. So he taught us the method to overcome this. How to overcome suffering is to tackle the root cause of suffering. And what are the root cause of suffering? Is these emotions, the conflicting emotions. And when we tackle these, when we get rid of these, then we are able to overcome our suffering. So that way, when taught and when we try, practice, then we see the benefit, then we develop confidence in the Buddha, his teaching. Because through his teaching we are able to, develop or achieve this happiness. Till now we have been thinking that I must protect myself. I am so important. I am most important, then comes you. So in order to make myself happy, I should make sure that I am more, kind of looked after well, more protected than you, so that I will be happy. This is how we think. This is how we work, So, but that is not the reality. So when we see this, then we develop confidence in the Buddha. Because the Dharma that he taught, through that we can really achieve happiness. So then we appreciate Buddha. Then we develop devotion to the Buddha. We develop confidence in the Buddha. So that way we develop. So through appreciation. Through appreciation, then devotion. So it is not forced onto anybody. It is actually yourself developing devotion in that sense. And so that is devotion of faith. So when we talk about devotion, we are talking about devotion in that sense. And so if you understand that, then there's no problem of devotion. There's no problem with the word devotion.
In zdaj, ko gledamo na svet iz naše omejene predstave, ki misli, da smo jaz, ki se identificira s tem omejenim jazom, potem gledamo na druge, kot da nam prinašajo, da so sovražniki, nam prinašajo trpljenje, ampak v resnici to ni res. Nič slabega ne pride od drugih. Naše trpljenje izvira iz tega, da smo razvili napačno razumevanje in da se identificiramo z omejenim jazom, ki se ga oklepamo, in iz tega jaza se potem razvijajo nevednost, zmeda, se razvije ego in na osnovi tega ega se potem razvijajo negativna čustva, negativna stanja uma. In zaradi teh negativnih stanj uma potem izvajamo negativna dejanja s telesom, govorom in umom in to ustvarja najrazličnejše oblike karme in ko se ta karma začne manifestirati, potem je naša izkušamo trpljenje. Ampak to je trpljenje, ki smo ga ustvarili sami zaradi svojih napačnih predstav, zaradi svoje omejene ideje o jazu, ki se ga oklepamo. In če ta jaz je tisti vzrok, je tisti glavni vzrok, ki povzroča težave. Recimo, če ima nek človek velik ego, potem je zlahka prizadet ob vsaki stvari, ki se zgodi in mu ni po godu. In ljudje, ki nimajo velikega ega, so lahko srečni in lahko vsako stvar, ki se zgodi ali pa vsako stvar, ki jo slišijo od drugih, lahko vzamejo z zrnom soli in na ta način imajo lahko tudi prijateljske odnose z vsemi. Medtem ko je človek, ki ima velik ego, že ob najmanjšem nasprotovanju ali pa nečemu, kar mu ni všeč, se lahko razburi, je jezen in na ta način izkuša trpljenje. Sama ta stanja uma so nesrečna in so trpljenje. Na nek način bi lahko rekli, da človek samega sebe tepe po glavi in z meditacijo, s potjo, z metodami, ki jih je pokazal Buda, lahko to presežemo, lahko presežemo ta osnovni temeljni vzrok vseh teh negativnih čustev in ko lahko do neke mere to storimo, se pravi, da se nehamo oklepati jaza in da se zmanjšajo naša negativna stanja uma, potem vidimo korist od tega, vidimo korist v temu, da prakticiramo metodo in na ta način se v nas naravno pojavi zaupanje v Budo, ker vidimo, da s tem lahko dosežemo resnično srečo. Ponavadi razmišljamo na način, da hočemo zaščititi sebe in da sebe doživljamo kot najbolj pomembne. Zaradi tega potem čutimo, da moramo mi dobiti več oziroma smo ves čas v tekmovanju z drugimi, kjer hočemo, da bi imeli mi nek poseben položaj, ki ima prednost pred drugimi. In to je ponavadi način, kako razmišljamo, ampak to nima nobene zveze s tem, kako stvari resnično so. In ko enkrat uvidimo, kako stvari so, se pravi, da se ne identificiramo več s tem omejenim jazom, ampak vidimo svoj neskončni potencial, potem lahko cenimo Budo in njegovo učenje, se pravi pot, ki jo je pokazal, in potem se v nas naravno prebudi predanost Budi in tej poti. In nihče nas, ni treba, da bi nas kdorkoli silil v to, ampak se ta predanost spontano pojavi v nas in zaradi tega potem predanost ali pa zaupanje, vera, to ni neka problematična stvar, ampak je nekaj, kar se naravno pojavi v našem umu.
Then also loving kindness, compassion, same. Genuinely recognizing that like yourself, all others also wish for happiness. Like yourself, all others wish to be free from suffering. So everybody working towards this. You yourself also working towards that all the time. That is why we are here trying to practice the Dhamma. That is why we are trying to do some meditation, for this purpose, nothing more, for this purpose. But because we are fortunate enough to receive the Dhamma, we recognize what is the cause of these sufferings, how to overcome suffering.
Isto, kar smo zdaj govorili, velja tudi za razvijanje nesebične ljubezni in sočutja. Kadar dobro pogledamo, lahko prepoznamo, resnično prepoznamo, da smo si v tem vsi enaki, jaz sam in vsi drugi se trudimo za isto stvar. Vsi si želimo biti srečni in vsi si želimo, da bi se osvobodili trpljenja. In v resnici vse, kar počnemo, ves čas delujemo v tej smeri, da bi našli resnično srečo in se znebili trpljenja. In ravno to je namen, zakaj smo tukaj, zakaj delamo prakso dharme, zakaj poslušamo učenja. In samo zato, ker si želimo biti srečni in preseči trpljenje. In mi smo dovolj srečni lahko, da smo prejeli to dharmo, da smo prejeli učenja in da potem lahko prepoznamo vzroke trpljenja in jih potem tudi presežemo.
But those out there don't understand or realize the real cause of the suffering. Don't understand how to achieve the real happiness, like you. They are not so fortunate. So they are always trying to entertain their emotions, conflicting emotions, thinking that that way they will be able to achieve the happiness. So that is why they have been acting in certain ways, like how till you knew about what is suffering, what are the cause of suffering, how to overcome, till you knew this, then you are also doing the same. So all out there are lost in this. So when you recognize that and genuinely understand that all those out there are 100% same like you, wishing to be happy, nothing more than that, but unable to see how to really achieve that, then you develop genuine loving kindness, compassion to those, irrespective of what kind they are, who they are, in what manner they act. In fact, some who act in, some very unimaginable way, then we will not be having hatred towards such people. Because those people are hammering their own head even harder. So you genuinely develop more concern for those people, more compassion for those people. So that way your loving kindness, compassion becomes equal to everybody, not separate from being to being, like this. So that is genuine loving kindness, compassion.
In mi smo srečni, da smo prijeli to metodo, ta učenja, in zunaj pa so bitja, ki ne razumejo in ne poznajo resničnega vzroka trpljenja in ne vejo, kako doseči resnično srečo, čeprav si tega želijo. Prav tako kot mi sami. In ker niso imeli te sreče, da bi srečali dharmo, potem se ves čas vrtijo v krogu teh negativnih stanj uma, negativnih čustev in mislijo, da bojo na ta način lahko dosegla srečo, in potem, ko delajo na osnovi teh negativnih stanj uma, potem ne morejo doseči sreče, in ker so njihova dejanja negativna. In ko prepoznamo, da smo bili tudi mi sami, preden smo to prepoznali, enaki kot oni, in ko prepoznamo, da so vsi tisti, ki se prepuščajo negativnim stanjem uma, popolnoma izgubljeni v tem, potem lahko vidimo, da smo 100% vsi enaki med sabo. Vsi si želimo biti srečni in tudi oni si želijo biti srečni, vendar ne vidijo poti, ne poznajo poti, kako bi se lahko osvobodili trpljenja. In na ta način, ko to vidimo in vidimo, da smo bili prej tudi mi sami v takem stanju, potem se v nas naravno prebudita resnična nesebična ljubezen in sočutje. In potem čutimo to ljubezen in sočutje, ne glede na to, za koga gre, ne glede na to, kako se obnašajo v nas. Se pojavi sočutje zaradi tega, ker vidimo, da ljudje zaradi negativnih stanj uma počnejo slabe stvari, in če nekdo počne še bolj slabe stvari, če se grozno obnaša, do njega čutimo še več sočutja, še bolj nam je mar za to, da bi se lahko tega osvobodil, in na tak način lahko čutimo enako do vseh čutečih biti, lahko do njih začutimo enako nesebično ljubezen in sočutje.
Anything that we experience or arise does not come from nowhere. Everything arises with cause and condition. So, recognizing and understanding this, then to experience happiness, then we need cause and conditions which arise into happiness, experience of happiness. You cannot create cause and conditions, negative cause and conditions to experience positive happiness. If you do something negative, it leads to negative experience. That is the fact. So, in that respect, or understanding that, then normally we have great compassion, love for our, little cat or anything like that in the house. That is very good, But they are not creating too much bad karma, They eat what you give them, they sleep the whole day, play around, and that is what they do, So, of course, we all create karma, they also create karma, but their karma is subject to that level. But we have great compassion, love, feeling for them. Then there are others out there who act in very unimaginable, cruel way. They have very cruel instinct, harm people, hurt people, do things which will create lots of destruction like this. So these people creating lots of negative karma. They are creating cause and conditions which will create lots of negative karma through which they will experience lots of suffering, unhappiness. So when you see this, then actually speaking, we must develop automatically more concern, more love, more compassion towards such beings, because they are paving their way to more suffering. Whereas the one who is close to you here, next life, I don't think he or she will experience so much suffering as those out there doing so much bad things. But that person out there doing, such bad things, and this person next to you sleeping and playing around, both of them have the equal level of wish to have happiness. Both of them have equal level of wish to not experience suffering. One out there is so ignorant, unable to see, what really is the cause for happiness. So that way, then if we examine, practically judge, and then we will see. So gradually, that way, then our loving kindness, compassion should be equal and with equanimity. So through that, then one will develop genuine loving kindness, compassion for all. Of course, take some thinking, take some practice, but that is how it should be.
In vse, kar izkušamo, ne pride kar od nikoder, ampak je vse povezano z vzroki in okoliščinami ali pogoji. In ko enkrat to prepoznamo, potem vemo, da bi zato, če želimo izkusiti srečo, moramo ustvariti za to ustrezne vzroke in pogoje. In nemogoče je, da bi z ustvarjanjem negativnosti oziroma z negativnimi vzroki in pogoji, da bi imele taka dejanja pozitiven rezultat. Iz negativnosti lahko pride samo negativnost. In potem recimo, naprimer, če imamo mačko doma in seveda nam je blizu, in do te mačke čutimo bližino, toplino, sočutje, ljubezen, ampak ta mačka ali pa domača žival ne ustvarja nobenih velikih negativnosti, njena karma ni zelo negativna, ker vse, kar počne, je to, da spi, je to, kar ji damo. In se pravi, njihova karma je zdaj na tem nivoju, medtem ko recimo nekdo drug tam zunaj, nekdo, ki nam ni blizu, ampak nam je daleč, lahko počne tako krute stvari, da si jih sploh ne moramo zamisliti, da škodi mnogim ljudem, da prizadeja bolečine in uničenje, in na ta način akumulira veliko negativne karme in zaradi tega se ustvarja vzroke in pogoje, da bo v prihodnosti izkušal veliko trpljenje. In če to jasno vidimo, potem v bistvu nas bolj skrbi za tiste tam zunaj, ki ustvarjajo veliko negativne karme in jih čaka veliko trpljenje. V nas se vzbudi resnična velika nesebična ljubezen in sočutje, ker vemo, da sami sebi tlakujejo pot v pekel v trpljenje. In nekateri, ki so nam blizu, potem pa ne bojo izkušali tako veliko trpljenja, oziroma ker ne ustvarjajo veliko negativne karme, smo za njih lahko prepričani, da bo njihovo naslednje življenje ne bo podvrženo velikemu trpljenju. Ampak vsi se pravi vsi tisti, ki so nam blizu in tisti, ki so daleč, imajo enako željo, vsi si enako želijo biti srečni in vsi si enako želijo izogniti se trpljenju. Ampak zaradi tega, ker ne morejo videti, kaj so resnični vzroki sreče in kakšna je pot do tega, potem se vrtijo v tem krogu in potem s časoma, ko to vidimo in s prakso, se v nas lahko razvije nesebična ljubezen, sočutje, ki do vseh čuti enako, do tistih, ki so nam blizu in do tistih, ki so daleč od nas, in za vse, do vseh se v nas vzbudi resnična, iskrena, nesebična ljubezen in sočutje. Seveda se to ne zgodi čez noč, ampak moramo o tem razmišljati in delati prakso. In to se potem postopoma razvije.
So here I'm not saying you should not, I'm not saying you should not be concerned of what negative thing they are doing. I'm not saying you put a blind eye to their action. I'm not saying you appreciate what they are doing. So it is not like that. In fact, you should be very much concerned about what they are doing, negative things. You should really, be concerned of all this, and through that concern, then you develop genuine loving kindness, compassion for those people, recognizing that what they are doing is so harmful for themselves and harmful for others. So when you develop that kind of a strong loving kindness, compassion through these ground, and then, if you are able to open up genuinely, towards such beings, then if you can practically, do something to stop such things, one should do. Even if not, then through your practice, through your genuine wish to benefit these, then as we spoke that time, through inside, internally, you can make a difference. Because there's no barrier that way. Not necessary that one has to go there and, talk to them and get them out and all that. Of course, if one can do, is good, but if it is not possible with everything. So if one is able to genuinely open up from within to benefit these beings, dedicate to them, really concerned about this, genuinely wanting to help them, then you will be able to change, you will be able to make a difference in that. Even physically not there, because physical barrier is just a, limitation. So we are not limited to such things, as we, already discussed that. So that way one can benefit. One can make a difference. So especially in this world, in these times, we really need that. We really need this kind of concern. We really need to develop this kind of loving kindness, compassion towards all beings. Because really the world is experiencing a lot of problem right now. So if each and every one can develop, each and every one of us can develop this kind of loving kindness, compassion towards all, then I'm sure we can make a difference. Even if not able to go there doing anything, but from here, thousands of miles away, we can make a difference in that way. So definitely we can.
To, kar pravi Rinpoče, ne pomeni, da ko razvijamo nesebično ljubezen in sočutje, ne pomeni, da nam ni mar, kakšne negativnosti počnejo ti ljudje ali pa ta bitja. Ne pomeni, da gledamo stran in da ignoriramo njihova negativna dejanja, ampak ravno s tem, ko prepoznamo, ko vidimo, pogledamo, kaj se zares dogaja in ko vidimo negativnost dejanj teh ljudi, potem se v nas budi resnična skrb in se razvijajo resnična nesebična ljubezen in sočutje, ker vidimo to negativnost, ne pomeni, da se strinjamo z njo ali da jo ignoriramo. In potem, ko resnično dosežemo to stanje, da do takšnih ljudi ali biti čutimo nesebično ljubezen, sočutje, resnično nesebičnost in sočutje, potem lahko tudi kaj ukrenemo v zvezi s temi negativnimi dejanji, če jih lahko zaustavimo, jih poskušamo zaustaviti. Če ne moremo storiti ničesar, potem lahko s svojo prakso, s tem, da se razvija naša modrost, lahko spremenimo stvari, s tem, da vidimo stvari takšne, kakršne so, lahko spreminjamo stvari, čeprav tega ne počnemo na fizičnem nivoju, ne pomeni, da moramo vsakič stopiti do nekoga in mu razložiti, da nečesa ne počne, ampak že to, da resnično želimo pomagati, potem lahko pomeni, da bomo svojo prakso, da ta naša resnična želja in naša praksa in naš vpogled, naša modrost lahko koristi drugim, čeprav ne na fizičnem nivoju, kajti fizične omejitve so samo umetne omejitve in v bistvu v resnici ne obstajajo. Zato je tudi naša praksa lahko koristna. Še posebej v tem času potrebujemo to, da vsi razvijamo nesebično ljubezen in sočutje do vseh čutečih bitij, kajti v tem trenutku je veliko problemov na tem svetu in Rinpoče pravi, da če bomo vsi se potrudili in razvili nesebično ljubezen in sočutje, potem se lahko nekaj spremeni. In čeprav ne moramo fizično nekam tja, kamor so težave, ampak smo oddaljeni tisoče kilometrov, ampak svojo prakso lahko stvari spremenimo.
Okay, so I'm talking about all this because it is part of our practice. Okay, the devotion, loving kindness, compassion, to develop genuine positive state of the mind is very important to have good practice of the shamatha and then followed by vipassana and all this. So it is part of our practice. So we need this kind of base. That is very important.
In zakaj Rinpoče govori o tem, je zaradi tega, ker je to osnova, ta resnična pozitivno stanje uma, resnično, da razvijamo nesebično ljubezen in sočutje, je osnova za to, da potem lahko delamo naprej prakso šamate, umirjanja uma in naprej prakso vipassane. To je osnova vsega in je zelo pomembna.
We can never realize the limitless potential for ourselves only. We will only be able to realize the limitless potential for the benefit of all limitless beings. As in order to travel limitless miles, you need limitless gas. You cannot have a limited gas to travel limitless miles. So, so very much important that way. So with this we stop today the first session, and then in the second session we will do the first meditation on the first and second shamatha, 9 methods.
In neskončnega potenciala vseh stvari ne moramo nikoli uresničiti ali pa doseči samo zase. To lahko dosežemo samo za vsa čuteča bitja. Rinpoče pravi, da če hočemo leteti neskončno daleč, rabimo neskončno goriva za to potovanje in zato mora biti naša motivacija neskončna in usmerjena na vsa čuteča bitja. In to je zelo pomembno. In zdaj na tem mestu bomo zaključili z jutranjim sedenjem in potem, ko se vrnemo nazaj, bomo pogledali prvi 2 metodi od 9 stopenj šamate. Oziroma bomo meditirali.